Hello and welcome to my YouTube channel. In this video, we are going to talk about cookie notice, how it helps us as well as the company whose website we are browsing in taking care of our personal information and keeping us updated. To begin with, we will touch base on the definition of data privacy, which is my control over my personal information. What personal information I want to share with whom and for what purpose, and do I allow him to share my information with a third party for a specific purpose. The entire process is data privacy governed by data privacy frameworks, so that if in case I see my information being misused or wrongly shared, then I can easily take a legal recourse to protect my own interest. And the process of taking my permissions, obtaining, documenting, collecting my permissions for collecting my information, processing it and sharing it with other people is known as consent management. And we have been seeing this consent directly, indirectly happening or helping us in many forms, but with data privacy coming in, consent management and data privacy is becoming almost mandatory for each and every business, and most of the countries around the world have created laws and rules around it. We are going to talk about cookies now, and cookie is a harmless small text file which just becomes a part of our system once we browse a website. It has the potential to keep our basic preferences with it, our browsing preferences with it, which is very useful because next time when we log in, it already has some idea about us, so it is able to open up some of our preferences, without needing to ask us again. But it also has the potential of capturing our personal information. And a lot of marketing companies, either directly through their own website or through other websites, that is putting their ad on a website and acting as a third-party cookie, get into our system and capture our personal information and share that with the remote site where their own things are hosted, as they target us for future marketing of their products. We have videos around what a basic cookie is, what are the various types of cookies and how much is their life on our system. You can go through them on my channel, subscribe to my channel, and let me know your feedback if you like the content or even otherwise, right? Now, as far as cookie notice is concerned, cookie notice is a static notification that's available on a website, which informs what cookies are being used and how are they being used. And cookie notice could also have a link to a cookie policy, which is a detailed version of what all cookies a particular website is using, right? So it could be a large website, maybe a large shopping site. Okay, there would be an organization with a cookie policy, and then there would be cookie notices, which are the banners which are telling you how your data is personal information going to be used. Could be having a link to the complete policy as well if you want to read. And there was another thing that we did in the previous video, which is cookie pop-up, which is an interactive way of taking your consent, right? So cookie pop-up, notice and policy have different meanings, right? Cookie notice is a non-interactive thing. It is not it is not a interactive question answer kind of a thing. It's like it is just informing you of what is going to happen with your personal information. Users can choose to ignore it. In that case, it is considered as a consent given. Okay, so if you want to reject it, you reject from the cookie pop-up. If you ignore it, then it is accepted that you have given the consent, and it is also accepted that you have read the notice and you are okay with the way your information being processed. Now, international compliances ready with their rules. We have GDPR, so they talk of cookie notice also, and they say prior to getting a consent, prior to activating a notice, you should take a consent from the user. Consent should be granular, which means that you should have the option of choosing what all services you want to avail, what all facilities you want to enable for yourself. It should be given freely, it should be withdrawable freely, and it has to be renewed every year. So these are the baseline requirements of GDPR for a cookie notice. I have videos on what consent is and what consent management rules are, types of consents are. So as I suggested earlier, you can subscribe to my channel and get a lot of information about data privacy, consent, and cookies already available, and a lot more yet to come after this as well, right? And that consent should always be stored as if it's a legal document. Then you have the California law, which is CCPA. They also have regulations. California works on a law that we assume that you have given consent for everything. until unless you come and you opt out. So we don't need a prior consent. We provide a opt-out mechanism. You come and you say, I don't want this, right? And you get out of it. Website should have a detailed cookie policy and it should be easily accessible. People can easily read it. California's CCPA works for children data privacy also. So if you are less than 13, then we need your consent, right? We don't process your data by default. We need your consent to process your data. So we do have a consent mechanism for minors under CCPA, and the cookies should help us monitor compliance regularly. So these are the few key guidelines of CCPA for a cookie notice. What are the best practices? How is it different from cookie pop-up? It is different from cookie pop-up, as I briefly mentioned earlier. Pop-up is a way to tell you what are we doing and ask for your consent. Notice is an informative way to tell you this is what we are doing, right? Pop-up is to ask for a consent and is interactive. Notice is to provide you information and is informative and not interactive. It's a brief informational message, right? So that is what I have on cookie notice. In the next video, we are going to talk about cookie policy as well. So we will have 3 videos talking of what a pop-up is, what a notice is, and what a policy is, and then we are going to talk a lot about privacy policies as well in the coming videos. So stay tuned with my channel and share your feedback in the comments box so that I can tweak or improve my content as per your feedback. Thank you.